Alright everybody, today we are going to be doing Goldeen and Seaking. Now I am going to be honest, I have been wanting to do this Pokemon actually for quite some time now. I really thought it was going to be quite the challenge though, so I keep avoiding it. So that is why we have not done it yet. So we see the stats here for Goldeen, not very good. Actually pretty even across the board. The special attack is one of the lowest stats. Actually it is the lowest stat. Then when we level up to Seaking here, we see that things are still pretty even. The attack stat is going to be where we are going to do the best. And also Seaking and Goldeen level up pretty fast, so you'll notice that throughout the playthrough as well. Here are the moves that they learn through level up. We mostly get water and ice type moves, which are all special in Gen 1. So we will mostly be using like return and headbutt and stuff like that. So we do go against the first rival here. Against the first rival, we do end up doing good here. You know, it's interesting. Goldeen starts in the top, or in the right here, so you see the level up moveset. And you see that it starts out with Peck, which is a flying type move in Gen 2, which is really interesting. And even though the rival is going to be good against us, we have a flying move. So we go ahead and train in the Bellsprout Tower here. I have never done this before, I don't think, in a playthrough. Maybe if I have, it's been a long time. But we do train in the Bellsprout Tower because we couldn't even actually get past the first trainer in Faulkner's gym, so it isn't really an option. And, you know, actually we don't do the best here against a lot of them. Like against the last trainer there in the Bellsprout Tower, we barely win. So Goldeen is going to see that a lot throughout this playthrough, where it levels up fast enough that it's able to do most of the game. We do have a couple spots that we have some challenges, but actually it does better than you think it would. Like, it does way better than I thought it would. Like I said, I had avoided playing with Goldeen for so long, even though I wanted to. You know, I do want to say here real quick, the reason why I like Goldeen and Seaking so much is the Lightning Rod ability they get later on. I think that's so cool that they can get hit with what's normally super effective, and it actually makes them stronger when they have that ability. Against Bugsy here, as you can see, we won with 2 hit points, and that is mainly with Supersonic on our side. And the same goes with the rival here. We actually have to train a little bit for this second rival in Azalea Town, but that's not too surprising. That's the case with a lot of different Pokemon. That normally is the most challenging point for most trainers. So we fail the first time, we level up to 23 and come back. At this point, actually, it's one of those back and forth things. We kind of have to survive on Supersonic here, depend on that to kind of break things up, especially with the Bayleaf. And then we ended up getting Flail right before the Zubat, is it Zubat still? Yeah, Zubat comes out. And actually, the Zubat is what kept getting me, because I kept being so low health in the other ones that Zubat somehow ended up killing me along with the poison that I already had. So I figured, okay, we're low enough health, maybe Flail might end up working. So we went ahead and replaced Tail Whip with Flail. I think that's the only time we ever used it in this, though. We go ahead and pick up Return and then go fight Whitney. That was fairly close, but we did end up doing it. That is a theme throughout this playthrough. Against the Sudowoodo here, I don't know if I've ever really shown this before, but against the Sudowoodo, it was actually pretty close here. Sudowoodo almost took us out, but we did end up making it. Goldeen does end up learning Surf before we go on ahead and go to Morty. Against the next rival fight here, this one actually, after the Azalea Town one, I was kind of worried about this, so I did do the Kimono Girls first, and I did get Surf first. And Surf did help against some of his Pokemon, but against Bayleaf is the main one to worry about. And thankfully we still had Supersonic at this point, so we was able to depend on that and kind of just hope that Supersonic worked, and it went in our favor. And this time it did. We was able to get through that fight. We did get 2 crits against the Bayleaf there with Return. I don't know that that really mattered. It might have. We was pretty low health at the end. We go ahead and Goldeen evolves into Seaking. Oh, I forgot to say, as you can see here, I did nickname it Golduck because I thought that was funny. So maybe if I ever do a Golduck playthrough, we'll name that one Goldeen. Anyways, we go ahead and fight Morty here next. The problem with Morty is this team is you need to be strong enough to one-shot their team. And honestly, all of them have certain stats that it doesn't make it that hard to one-shot their team normally. However, Seaking is not able to one-shot all of them, and we do end up getting through it, but I was a little worried about that. Chuck, actually, surprisingly, no issues at all. Easily go through Chuck. I almost tried to face Jasmine, but then I was like, you know what? No, we should probably go do the rocket thing and do Price, and then it'll level us up some for Jasmine, just in case. And it's kind of glad we did because I do feel like if we was any lower level with Jasmine there, we would not have been able to do it. But we did end up being able to do it, and it was fairly easily. This next rival fight here, I don't remember if I ended up showing the fail attempt, but we actually failed against this rival here. I think this is the failed attempt. I think it's because we was paralyzed, maybe. I'm not really sure, and they have a Meganium at this point. But yeah, it is kind of wild to me that we lost against this rival here. I don't think I've ever lost against the rival in any of my challenges at this point. So it's really interesting because Seaking and Goldeen actually isn't doing that bad. It's really not a challenge because it levels up so fast, I think, because we are very over-leveled at this point in the game. But it's just because Goldeen and Seaking level up so fast. I'm not like intentionally grinding to overlevel. I'm just doing basic fights. I'm not going out of my way to avoid trainers, but I'm not going out of my way to bump into trainers either. Anyways, against this Claire fight here, as you can see, we aren't able to one-shot any of the Dragonairs, which means we get paralyzed. And I did go into this with a Paralyzed Cure Berry, and it did not work. So I did end up leveling up just a couple more levels. We ended up being at level 52. I know it's not over our damage rounding threshold, but we was almost there. So I'm like, this is probably going to be fine. And it was. We was able to one-shot all the Dragonairs. And then Kingdra was a two-shot with return. So that wasn't too bad. Really, it was just because the paralysis luck with the other Dragonairs. Well, not luck. They paralyze you. It was because of the paralysis that we was not able to do that. But anyways, the last rival fight here, I don't even know that this is really, like, worth talking about. Like, we all know that this is, like, really easy. But then again, the other one in Goldenrod City is normally easy, too. And it wasn't this time, so... Well, actually, it wasn't not easy. We just got really bad luck. Anyways, this is the first attempt against Will, and we aren't even able to get past the Executor. So I go into that at level 53, I think it was. And we go back into the Elite Four at level 58. And we get to Lance, which I know I kind of skipped ahead to show this, but I didn't want the video to be too long showing you, Will over and over and over again, like I have in some of the other playthroughs. This one I was like, you know what? I made it to Lance starting in the Elite Four at level 58, and Seaking leveled up pretty fast throughout it, as you can see here, because it was 60 when it went into Lance. Anyways, we still aren't able to do it. We aren't able to hit the Dragonites hard enough, and again, the paralysis makes it to where we can't do it. So I went ahead and leveled up to level 60, used my last rare candy to get to 61, and I probably could have just done 59 and then done the rare candy to get to 61 or 60, but anyways, the fight against Wheeler is pretty easy. We change up our moveset. Now we have Icy Wind. We replaced that with Hidden Power. Hidden Power was Hidden Power Ghost, by the way, in case you're curious. Just because I'm like, well, maybe that might make more of a difference with the Dragonites, and also our levels might make a difference by that point. We also have Return, Horn Drill, and Surf on our moveset. I don't know if I use Horn Drill against any of the Elite Four members, but Horn Drill actually we did use a couple times. I think I might have used it on Claire. I don't really like using it in a playthrough necessarily, but in Gen 2, it's not based on your speed and stuff, it's based on how many levels you are above your opponent. I don't remember if all gens are like that or not, but in Gen 2, actually, the accuracy isn't really 30%. Like, if I'm 20 levels ahead of them, it's going to be a lot more accurate than you actually think. So I would actually use Horn Drill sometimes, and it went pretty good. Like I said, I don't know if I used it against the Elite Four, though, because they're not that many levels behind me. Well, I guess Wild Bloom here is. Anyways, though, and honestly, the Hidden Power Ghost thing, by the way, that was, like, really only useful against a couple Pokemon, so, it was, like, one of the worst typings I feel like I could have gotten. other than like fighting because our DVs would have been so bad then. Anyways, we get back to Lance, and we are able to return through the Gyarados. We get to the Dragonite, and then I was sitting here, I'm like, do I want to return? Do I want to Icy Wind? Of course, Icy Wind. Barely the Dragonite survives. I did have a Paralyzed Cure Berry equipped, I believe. And I'm like, oh great, we're going to lose here, even though this is so close. But honestly, it's so close. Even if we leveled up a couple more levels, they probably would have been one-shots with Icy Wind then. But Icy Wind is honestly such a bad move. I thought about getting enough coins to get Blizzard, but it really wasn't necessary at the end of the day. Seaking and Goldeen was a lot easier than you think they would be because they level up so fast, but also at the same time, like, they weren't that good either. Like, if they didn't have the level up group that they do, it wouldn't be the best. But because they level up the way they do, we was able to get through the game fairly easily. I do want to do Hoppip, Jumpluff, like that line, Skiploom. I want to do that line, but also like the moveset's so bad. Like I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I kind of want to do Paris and Parasect, but I feel like a lot of other YouTubers have done it. So I don't know. Let me know what you want me to do, and I will see you later. Bye.